Alright, let's talk about something most people think they understand, but very few actually get right. Because when it comes to intimacy, especially why men choose to sleep with a woman, the world is full of assumptions. People say, oh, men are simple, men only want one thing, men don't get emotionally attached. But the truth, most of that is completely wrong. Everyone talks about why men sleep with women, but almost nobody talks about the real, hidden reasons. Reasons that go so much deeper than physical attraction. Reasons men themselves don't always understand, or admit, or even consciously think about. See, most people assume men do it for excitement, for the moment, for a quick rush of pleasure. But trust me, men are not as shallow as people make them out to be. Men don't just sleep with women for fun. They don't do it just because the opportunity is there. And they definitely don't always do it for the reasons women imagine, like looks, or curves, or physical chemistry alone. Underneath the surface, there are emotional triggers, insecurities, needs, fears, and even longings that play a huge role in why a man chooses to be intimate with you specifically. A man might feel drawn to you because you make him feel accepted, or because you make him feel chosen, or because you represent something he's been missing in his life. A feeling, a connection, a spark he's been craving but couldn't find anywhere else. Sometimes a man sleeps with a woman because he feels safe with her, safer than he feels with most of the world. Sometimes he does it because he feels a rare kind of chemistry that wakes something up in him. Sometimes it's because you make him feel seen in a way nobody else does. And sometimes, this is the one people really don't talk about, he does it because he's afraid of losing you, and intimacy feels like the closest way to hold on. So today I'm going to break down 5 hidden reasons men will sleep with you, reasons that reveal desire, vulnerability, ego, and yes, even fear. And once you understand these deeper motivations, you'll see men and the way they connect in a completely different light. Let's get into it. When a man feels like he can open up, even just a little, that emotional comfort quickly translates into physical intimacy. Now, here's the part most people misunderstand. Men don't open up easily. They don't show their vulnerabilities to just anyone. Most men grow up being taught to hide their emotions, control them, or bury them so deep that they barely know how to express them themselves. So when a man meets a woman who gives him even the smallest pocket of emotional safety, it hits him in a powerful, unexpected way. For a man, emotional safety feels like relief, like taking a deep breath after holding it in for too long, like removing a heavy jacket he didn't even realize he was wearing. And that feeling of being understood, accepted, and not judged becomes incredibly attractive. Men rarely admit this, but emotional safety makes them bold. It makes them lean in. It makes them want to be closer than they expected. If he feels you don't judge him for his flaws or his past, you understand him in ways most people don't. You make him feel seen, not just as a man, but as a human being. You listen without trying to fix him or criticize him. You allow him to relax, breathe, and be himself, and then something shifts inside him. And that shift creates intimacy long before anything physical ever happens. See, for women, emotional safety often leads to emotional bonding. For men, emotional safety wakes up desire. Not because he's using you, not because he's trying to fill a void, but because emotional comfort is a rare currency in a man's world, and he instinctively moves toward the person who gives it to him. When a man feels safe with you, he starts sharing little pieces of his life, stories he doesn't normally tell, fears he hides from others, dreams he doesn't admit out loud. And every time you respond with warmth instead of judgment, he feels something deepen between you. It's like you're creating a private emotional world together, a space only the two of you understand. And here's the deeper truth most women never hear. For a man, emotional intimacy often triggers physical intimacy. Not because he's confusing the two, but because when his guard drops emotionally, his desire naturally rises physically. It's his way of saying, I trust you. I feel close to you. I want to connect with you on every level. It's not lust taking over, it's connection pulling him forward. A man can be physically attracted to many women, but he will only be physically intimate with the woman who makes him feel emotionally safe. Because that kind of safety, it's not common, it's not easy to find, And it's not something he can fake. When he feels safe to be imperfect, safe to express himself, safe to be honest, safe to be emotional, his body and his heart both respond. Men may not talk about emotional safety, but they feel it deeply. And once a man feels emotionally safe with you, intimacy becomes the next step, not because he's driven by lust, but because he's drawn by connection. A connection he didn't expect. A connection he didn't know he needed. A connection he doesn't want to lose. Men are simple in one specific way. They move toward the place where they feel valued. See, every man, no matter how confident, how successful, how attractive, carries around a quiet question inside him: am I enough? Do I still have it? Do I matter to someone? Men won't say this out loud. They won't admit it. Some of them don't even realize it themselves. But the moment a woman makes a man feel desired, appreciated, admired, something shifts in him. He starts leaning in. He starts paying attention. He starts feeling this magnetic pull toward her. Because for a man, ego isn't arrogance. Ego is identity. It's how he measures his worth. It's how he feels powerful, masculine, and alive. And when you light up that part of him, even unintentionally, it changes everything. If you make him feel attractive, if you make him feel chosen, if you make him feel like the man, if your presence tells him, you matter here, he becomes drawn to you physically, not because he's shallow, not because he's only after intimacy, but because admiration is like fuel for a man's confidence. Think of it like this. A man might spend the whole day dealing with criticism, pressure, expectations, people needing something from him. But when he comes around you, and he feels like he is seen, wanted, or admired, it hits him emotionally. And emotion fuels desire. It's not the superficial, boost his ego and he'll fall for you, advice you see online. It's much deeper than that. A man wants to feel that he impresses you, that he affects you, that he makes you feel something, that he's special in your eyes. When a man feels admired by a woman, it touches the oldest part of his masculinity, the part that wants to provide, protect, attract, and impress. And here's the psychological truth people rarely talk about: men bond with women who make them feel significant, not superior, not worshipped, just significant. Because when a man feels significant to you, he associates you with confidence. He associates you with feeling capable. He associates you with his strongest, boldest, most masculine self. And that emotional association turns into physical attraction. Confidence leads to desire. Every single time. He might walk into the room neutral, calm, collected, but the moment you smile at him in a way that says, I like you, I see you, I choose you, his whole energy changes. He stands taller. He becomes playful. He becomes more expressive, more present, more alive. And that inner shift, it becomes physical, it becomes chemistry, it becomes intimacy. Not because he's looking for validation, but because he feels inspired by you. You make him feel like the best version of himself, the version he wishes he could be all the time. And people always move toward the person who makes them feel like that. So when men say, I don't know why, but there's just something about her, it's often this. She makes him feel attractive, valued, and wanted in a way that doesn't threaten him. It empowers him. And men are drawn to the woman who awakens that feeling. Because when a man feels admired, he opens up. He becomes vulnerable in a masculine way. He becomes bold in a romantic way. And yes, he becomes intimate in a physical way. Not from ego walla, but from confidence. Sometimes a man can't describe it. He can't label it. He can't logically explain it to himself or to anyone else. He just feels something different around you. And that feeling, that unexplainable chemistry, is one of the most powerful forces in attraction. It's not about looks. It's not about perfection. It's not about having the bridey or the right personality. It's something deeper, something instinctive, something almost biological. Your energy, your presence, your voice, your way of talking or laughing, even the way you enter a room, it activates something in him, something he didn't expect, something he can't control, something he honestly wasn't prepared to feel. Chemistry is not about tension, it's about recognition. It's that moment when a man's body reacts before his brain can catch up. And trust me, men feel it intensely. Maybe it's the warmth in your eyes when you look at him. Maybe it's how comfortable he feels sitting next to you. Maybe it's the way you carry yourself, confident but soft, mysterious but inviting. Whatever it is, it creates a chemical pull he can't fight. It's the kind of feeling that makes his heartbeat shift for a moment. The kind that makes him remember small details about you without realizing it. The kind that makes him think about you later, when he's alone, even though he didn't plan to. And men don't get this kind of chemistry often. But here's the part most women don't realize. When a man feels a connection he doesn't understand, he becomes curious. And curiosity is one of the strongest emotional triggers in men. Curiosity makes him lean closer. Curiosity makes him ask you questions he doesn't ask anyone else. Curiosity makes him replay your conversations in his mind. Curiosity makes him want more of you, more time, more presence, more closeness. Because curiosity creates emotional tension, and emotional tension turns into intimacy faster than anything else. Think about it. When a man can explain why he likes someone, it's logical. But when he can't explain it, that's when it becomes powerful. Because now, it's not just his mind that's involved, it's his instincts, his emotions, his senses, his entire nervous system responding to you. Chemistry is that subtle spark that feels both exciting and confusing at the same time. It's the reason he tilts his body toward you without thinking. It's the reason he notices the way you move. It's the reason your presence feels addictive instead of ordinary. In that moment, you're not just another woman. You're an experience he can't understand, but doesn't want to stop feeling. And here's the truth: men chase the feelings they can't explain. A man might admire beauty. He might appreciate kindness, but he pursues chemistry because chemistry makes him feel alive. It wakes up parts of him he forgot about. It makes him vulnerable in ways he can't control. And yes, that vulnerability leads him straight into intimacy. Not the shallow kind, not the casual kind, but the kind that's fueled by emotional electricity. That's the kind of connection that keeps him thinking about you long after the moment has passed. So when he feels chemistry he can't explain, that curiosity slowly transforms into desire, and that desire becomes intimacy, physical and emotional. Not because he planned it, but because he feels something with you he hasn't felt in a long time, or maybe has never felt at all. Men don't just seek excitement, they seek relief. And this is where most people misunderstand male desire completely. Women often hear, men want adventure, men want thrill, men want passion, and while those things matter, they're not the whole truth. Because deep down, men aren't just looking for a spark, they're looking for a pause. A moment where life stops feeling heavy. Where responsibility doesn't sit on their shoulders. Where pressure quiets down, even for a short time. So when you become the woman who gives him that feeling, even unintentionally, you become an emotional escape he doesn't want to lose. If you make him forget his stress, if you make him feel alive again, if you make him laugh when he didn't even plan to smile, if talking to you feels like stepping out of the noise and into a calmer world, he becomes magnetically drawn to you. Because men don't always get this kind of peace. Most men carry silent battles, work stress, family pressure, expectations, failures they don't talk about, emotions they don't know how to express. But when he's with you, and those things fade, even just for a moment, he associates you with freedom. And freedom is one of the biggest motivators for physical closeness. You become the fantasy, not because you're perfect, not because you're a dream girl, but because you represent a feeling he desperately needs and rarely experiences. Maybe you're the woman who listens without judging. Maybe you're the woman who talks about life in a fresh, inspiring way. Maybe you're the woman who makes ordinary moments feel light and fun. Maybe you're the woman whose presence feels like warmth, not pressure. Whatever it is, you create a shift inside him. He isn't drawn to you because he wants to escape his life. He's drawn to you because you make his life feel easier to breathe in. You become the moment he looks forward to, the conversation he replays later, the presence he craves when everything else feels overwhelming. And here's the deeper truth: most women don't realize men often fall into intimacy with the woman who lets them feel emotionally free. Think about it. When a man feels stuck, stressed, or weighed down, and he's with you, and suddenly he feels relaxed, open, energized, that emotional shift becomes physical attraction. Not because he's trying to use you, not because he's trying to distract himself, but because the body always moves toward what the heart feels safe in. You become the space where he feels free, free from expectation, free from judgment, free from the version of himself the world forces him to be. Around you, he gets to be human, not the provider, not the strong one, not the problem solver, just himself. And that is a powerful form of intimacy. Because when a man feels like he can breathe with you, laugh with you, forget his stress with you, he naturally wants to get closer. He wants to connect deeper. He wants to experience that closeness physically as well, because physical intimacy becomes an extension of emotional relief. To him, you're not just a moment of passion, you're a moment of peace. And once you become his escape, his fantasy, his reminder of what feeling alive actually feels like, he doesn't walk away from that easily. In fact, he holds on to it, and onto you, more tightly than you may ever realize. This is the one nobody talks about. Because when people think about why a man becomes intimate with a woman, they imagine desire, attraction, chemistry, but they rarely consider the emotional fear behind it. Yes, fear. Sometimes a man sleeps with you because he feels something real, something powerful, something that catches him off guard. And that feeling scares him more than he will ever admit. See, when a man starts developing real emotions, the kind he can't shake off, the kind that lingers, the kind that makes him think about you at random moments, he becomes afraid. Afraid that what he's feeling might slip away. Afraid that someone else might come along and take his place. Afraid that he could lose the connection before it becomes something deeper. And here's the thing, men don't always process fear the same way women do. Women tend to pull back when they're unsure. Men tend to move forward, fast. To him, it's not insecurity, it's urgency. It's the instinct to protect something he feels slipping into his emotions. It's that sudden realization. If I don't act, if I don't show her how I feel, if I don't make this real, someone else might. And that thought hits him harder than he expects. Because men, even confident ones, carry an invisible fear, the fear of missing their chance. The fear of letting a connection fade before it becomes something meaningful. The fear of losing a woman who makes them feel alive, understood, desired, or emotionally safe. So what does he do? He acts. He leans in. He moves closer. He tries to create a deeper bond in the way he understands best. And for many men, physical intimacy becomes that bridge. Not because he sees you as an object. Not because he only wants a moment. Not because he's thinking purely with desire. But because physical closeness is the fastest way he knows how to anchor the emotional connection he feels. To him, intimacy is a statement, a way of saying without words, I want you. I choose you. I don't want to lose this. I don't want you slipping into someone else's arms. I'm invested more than I expected. It's not about possession, it's about presence. Men often struggle to express emotions through long, vulnerable conversations. Instead, they express through action, through touch, closeness, physical presence. So when he feels he might lose you, lose your attention, lose your interest, lose the growing bond, he tries to deepen the connection before the moment passes. And intimacy becomes the quickest, most instinctive way he knows to do that. It's his way of holding on to something that feels rare, his way of grounding the relationship, his way of saying, this means something to me. And here's the real truth, a man will only fear losing a woman when he feels something genuine for her. He doesn't fear losing casual connections. He doesn't fear losing someone he's not emotionally tied to. He doesn't fear losing someone who doesn't affect him. He only fears losing the woman who reaches him on a deeper level. The woman who stirs feelings he didn't plan to have. The woman who awakens hope inside him. Hope for something meaningful. So when a man sleeps with you because he's afraid to lose you, it's not desperation, it's not insecurity, it's not manipulation, it's emotion. Raw, real, honest emotion. And it reveals something important. You matter to him more than he expected, more than he may ever say, more than he knows how to express. Physical intimacy becomes his attempt to not let you slip away. So listen. Men don't just sleep with women because of attraction. People love to oversimplify male desire. They reduce it to physical looks, temptation, or opportunity. But the truth is so much deeper, so much more emotional, and honestly, so much more human. Men sleep with women because of emotion, because something in you touches something in them. Maybe it's comfort, maybe it's recognition, maybe it's connection. They sleep with women because of validation, that feeling of being chosen, admired, noticed, especially in a world that rarely lets them feel that way. They sleep with women because of chemistry, that electric, almost unexplainable pull that makes their heart beat differently around you. That spark that doesn't happen often, and once it does, they don't want to lose it. They sleep with women because of escape, not from life, but from the pressure, the heaviness, the expectations they carry every single day. And if being with you feels like peace, he's going to crave that closeness. And yes, sometimes they do it because of fear. Fear of losing something real. Fear of missing their moment with you. Fear that if they don't act, someone else will. It's not insecurity. It's urgency. It's emotion turning into action. And once you understand these deeper motivations, you stop misreading his behavior. You stop assuming it's just physical. You stop thinking it's casual, or careless, or meaningless. Because intimacy isn't random. It isn't accidental. It isn't just the moment. Intimacy always reveals something. Sometimes it reveals what he's craving. Sometimes it reveals what he's afraid of. Sometimes it reveals how deeply he feels, even when he can't put it into words. And sometimes it reveals the parts of himself he didn't even know existed until he met you. The question is, what is it revealing in him? Is it connection? Is it comfort? Is it chemistry? Is it fear of losing something real? And just as importantly, what is it awakening in you? Because your feelings matter too. Your intuition matters. Your emotional response matters. So don't just ask why he moved closer. Ask what the connection between you is really trying to tell you. Because intimacy is never just physical. It's emotional. It's psychological. It's meaningful. If you know how to read it.